Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged BGP personnel to keep discipline and chain of command on BGP Day 2021. Bangladesh started administering COVID-19 booster dose to health workers on trial basis in the capital. Bangladesh and Malaysia signed Memorandum of Understanding on employment of Bangladeshi workers in Southeast Asian country. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today called upon border guard Bangladesh personnel to discharge duties with patriotism, honesty and discipline. The Premier made this call while addressing the BGP Day 2021 ceremony at the Parliamentary Forces headquarters as chief guest. She joined the program virtually from her official residence, Ganabhavan. Hasina also urged BGP to keep in mind that discipline and chain of command are key. Never be undisciplined. Comply with the chain of command, she adds. Apart from performing duties along the borders, Hasina said BGP's responsibilities include assisting the administration in maintaining law and order situation. The government has taken all kinds of steps to make BGP a three-dimensional force. She expressed hope that BGP as a modern border guard force will move forward towards its desired goal and vision by Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The campaign for COVID-19 booster doses started in Bangladesh today. Health Minister Zahid Malik inaugurated the vaccination drive at Bangladesh College of Physicians and Surgeons at Mohakhali in Dhaka. Professor Mijade Sabrina Flora, Additional Directorate of General of the Health Directorate, said it does not matter who has taken which vaccine earlier. Doctors, nurses and health workers will get the dose first, while senior citizens will get it in the next phase, keeping their compatibilities in mind. Initially, people aged 60 years and above and frontliners will get only Pfizer vaccine as booster dose. It will start nationwide, likely from next week. The frontliners who have received both doses of vaccine at least 9 months ago would also be eligible. Gradually, the program will be expanded all over the country. Bangladesh and Malaysia today signed a Memorandum of Understanding on employment of Bangladeshi workers in the Southeast Asian country. The agreement was signed in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It was signed by Malaysia's Human Resource Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan and Bangladesh's Expatriate Welfare Minister Imran Ahmed. Reports said this MOU is a follow-up to the approval of Cabinet meeting. This new MOU will be in effect for 5 years, ending in December 2026. This MOU outlines the responsibilities of the Malaysian and Bangladeshi governments, including employers and employees from both countries, as well as agency responsibilities. A joint working group made up of responsibilities from both countries will oversee the MOU's implementation. Viewers are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back. You're watching Bangla City SATV News. Now international news. At least 12 people were killed and several more injured on Saturday by a gas blast in Pakistan port city of Karachi. The explosion went off on the bank building in the Sher Shah area, and social media and TV footage showed the two-floor structure, windows and doors blown out, with documents scattered across a wide area. Cars and motorcycles parked nearby were also damaged. Police said bomb disposal squad was investigating, but apparently the leakage of gas was the cause. They said 12 people have been confirmed killed and 13 were being treated for injuries. Meanwhile, envoys from 57 Islamic nations as well as observer delegation have been in meeting in Islamabad today for a summit aimed at relieving the humanitarian crisis in neighboring Afghanistan. The meeting of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) is the biggest major conference on Afghanistan since US-backed government fell in August. After the Taliban's lightning return to power, billions of dollars in aid and assets were frozen by the international community. The nation of 38 million now faces a bitter winter. The United Nations has repeatedly warned that Afghanistan is on the brink of the world's worst humanitarian emergency with the combined food, fuel and cash crisis. Foreign Minister Karachi said that the meeting spoke for the people of Afghanistan rather than a particular group. 9 senior US lawmakers sent a letter to Secretaries of State and Treasury asking them to help rebuild Afghanistan's failing economy and to unfreeze the country's asset. The appeal coincides with the OIC Foreign Minister Conference in Islamabad on Sunday to consider options for helping Afghanistan and to urge the Taliban to soften their policies. The letter is addressed to Secretary and State of Treasury Secretary. Referring to a recent World Food Programme report, the lawmakers pointed out that Afghanistan is on the brink of economic collapse and more than 18.4 million Afghans needed humanitarian assistance. Besides, 30% of the population faced emergency or crisis-level food insecurity. At least 75 people have been reported killed in the strongest typhoon to hit the Philippines. Efforts to deliver water and food to devastated islands ramped up. More than 3 lakh people fled their homes and beachfront resorts as Typhoon Ray ravaged the southern and central regions of the archipelago. The storm knocked out humanitarian and electricity in many areas, ripping off roofs, toppling concrete power poles and flooding villages. The Netherlands on Saturday announced a Christmas lockdown and London declared a major incident as Europe tries to rein in rising COVID-19 case numbers and the highly mutated Omicron strain takes hold. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen has warned that the Omicron variant could be dominant in Europe by mid-January. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte announced all non-essential shops, cultural and entertainment venues must shut until January 14. Besides, schools will close until at least January 9. Meanwhile, Britain registered record case numbers for 3 days in a row during the week, prompting new regulations and reports that another lockdown is being considered. Germany's health agency, meanwhile, announced it had put Britain on a list of high-risk COVID countries. Meantime, Saudi Arabia's public health authority is urging citizens and residents to avoid unnecessary travel outside the country amid rising COVID-19 cases and the new Omicron variant. A 1-year-old boy believed to have been sent by their parents to make the dangerous Mediterranean crossing alone has made it safely to the island of Lampedusa. The child was among 500 plus people who arrived on the small island in 7 separate landings over the past 2 days. He was spotted by rescuers in the midst of some 70 men. The other migrants had no idea who the child was, but were reportedly begged by his parents to keep him safe during the crossing. Torrential rains in Malaysia have caused flooding that has driven more than 11,000 people from their homes, closed dozens of roads and disrupted shipping. Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaqub said over 66,000 police, army and fire department personnel mobilized to help rescue people stranded by flood waters and take them to shelters. Floods in Malaysia are common, but the downpour that started on Friday morning and continued into Saturday hit worst in the western state of Selangor. Reports said 8 of the country's 16 state and federal territories saw water level rising to dangerous levels on Saturday. As the winter holiday season approaches, preparation for Christmas and other religious and festive celebrations are stepped up on the planet Earth. But there are also celebrations being readied in space. Dalia Nilofer has the story on how astronauts on the ISS will celebrate Christmas in space.
Every year since 2000, there have also been people up in space, in orbit around Earth on the International Space Station. Being 420 kilometers above the Earth is no impediment to celebrating the holidays. With 20 Christmas passed by humans in orbit so far, astronauts have found a host of ways to mark the occasion, from video messages to loved ones back home, a well-earned day off, and even traditional Christmas dinner served in space food form. Here is what happens during the festive season in space. Astronauts build a homemade Christmas tree from leftover food containers, colored decals, and cardboard. No festive celebration would be complete without the appropriate food. However, space food is pretty different from what we get to enjoy back down on solid ground. There are a number of constraints associated with it, such as storage, lack of dedicated refrigeration. And in 2018, a SpaceX Dragon capsule played the role of Santa in delivering a hearty festive feast to the crew, which included smoked turkey, green bean casserole, candied yams, cranberry sauce, fruitcake, shortbread, and butter cookies. Well, for many of the NASA astronauts, Christmas is observed on December 25. The Russian colleagues actually celebrated the holiday based on the Julian calendar, which is used by the Russian Orthodox Church. Therefore, they will celebrate Christmas on January 7. Dalia for SATV News Desk.
Now sports news. The women under-19 football team will play their last match against Sri Lanka in the group stage of SAF U19 Championship today at 7 p.m. at Komlapur Stadium in Dhaka. Only by drawing this match, Bangladesh team will reach the title-determining match before they have won in 2 matches and draw in 1 match. Before ending, we go to the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged BGP personnel to keep discipline and chain of command on BGP Day 2021. Bangladesh started administering COVID-19 booster dose to health workers on trial basis in the capital. Bangladesh and Malaysia signed Memorandum of Understanding on employment of Bangladeshi workers in the Southeast Asian country. Up to date so far here on Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.